Welcome to You Ought to Watch This Movie, the podcast about movies from the first decade of the 2000s, aka the aughts. Follow along and explore a movie from the aughts, getting unbridled opinions from two millennials. Sit back, relax, and enjoy one of the best decades in movies.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We're trying to get Gemma to go to sleep.
No, we're not. We're just trying to get her to not cry.
Yeah. Will you say anything if I take away your pacifier, baby? No? Okay. You can have it back.
Okay. Welcome back to You Ought to Watch This Movie.
Also, more commonly known as Yadam.
Yes.
With the pretty girl and the guy with the not made up hair.
You could have fixed your hair.
That's all right.
Well, I don't know how many people watch or how many people listen, but oh well, we're pretty casual here. Obviously, we have a baby.
It's Casual Friday. Like The Office.
Yes. Well, not as casual as Meredith, but
Yeah. Luckily, we're both wearing underwear. Yeah. We're also both naked underneath all these clothes.
yeah.
The face of disdain that Colin just gave me.
I didn't give you a look of disdain. You would know.
Annoyance. But,
Okay, well, you would know.
well, what movie are we reviewing today, Colin?
All right, so today, if you're wondering if you're watching, you may be wondering why I have a Christmas mug.
Yes, why do you have a Christmas mug?
Well, we are reviewing a Christmas movie.
I knew that, but the audience did.
So the three movies that we, had an opportunity for, like the three movies that we watched trailers for the podcast to see if we were going to watch them, all came out on December 22nd of 2000. And so this is one that we chose to watch. It's called The Family Man.
Oh,
And it is a Christmas/holiday movie.
yes.
Now is the time of the podcast that we tell you, if you haven't seen The Family Man with Nicolas Cage, because there are other entries that pop up, but it's from 2000. If you haven't seen it, currently it is not on a streaming service. Earlier, when it was actually Christmas time, it was on Netflix, but now
You mentioned that.
it is not. So we rented it, and you can do the same wherever you like to rent or buy movies.
Blockbuster. Family Video.
All right. So with that, we will go ahead and
Move into the show.
yes.
So, trailer summary. Going first, or you?
You can go.
Okay. So when I watched it, I thought to myself, man, Nick Cage in all of his movies, how, which I don't think I missed this one. I'm just saying it seems like one that, like I've seen on TV reruns. But it gave me really, I forgot the movie, Time Traveler's Wife vibes. And so, knowing that Nicolas Cage is in so many movies, I'm saying to myself, oh, great, it's Nick Cage, Con Air, but he's not a con, and he's not in the air. What were your trailer thoughts?
All right. My trailer thoughts were, this reminds me, first of all, I've seen this before. I think my family has a VHS of it, potentially.
Is it rewound?
I don't know.
Is that
I
Kind and
I'm
rewind?
pretty sure that we got it, like, you know how Walmart has like the cheap DVDs now? Well, they used to have like cheap VHSs.
Like $3 bins and whatnot. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we got it like that. And I know I've watched it before, but only once, I think. But anyway, I knew I liked it already, so that's how I chose to watch it for the podcast. But also, it reminds me of Blacksmiths. And
Of course it does.
that's probably why I watched it in the first place. I would imagine I feel like I saw it after I knew Nicolas Cage from National Treasure, and I was like, "Oh, this is like Blacksmiths. I already know this actor."
How interesting, because by you knowing him since this movie, is you were, or until National Treasure, rather, you are not as I guess tormented by the literally year after year after year after year that Nicolas Cage puts out doing a different character.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing that introduced me to him, and it's not like I'm a big Nick Cage fan, but anyway.
Yeah.
So it reminds me of Lexmas, which I guess if you don't know, viewers, that's an episode of Smallville where almost the same thing that happens to this person.
Yeah. I'm to Lex.
Happens to Lex. Okay.
It's nuts.
Okay, I already said I saw this. Okay. And I had to rewatch the trailer. There was a voiceover. And then I said, how do they include the voiceover so well that it's not obvious? And I have to rewatch the trailer to remember if there was a voiceover. Are we just that accustomed to them on in trailers, or they just put them in seamlessly where you don't think, oh, there's a voiceover? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, especially as you get later into the teens, I think it's a dying logic of doing it.
Well, yes, that's why we are tracking it. But I mean, like on these, so many I've had to rewatch to see if there was a voiceover, just because, like, I don't remember because it was included so well.
Oh, no. Well,
all right. On to the summary. On Christmas Eve, a wealthy businessman is transported to an alternate life in which he has a wife and kids and fewer material luxuries.
yeah, he definitely had a few. Just a few. He had a house, he had 2 kids, and, he had a nice minivan. That was nice.
No, it wasn't.
It sure did.
It didn't start.
Wow. It eventually did. Yeah, well, okay, that's fair. He also had, his job at Big Ed's Tire.
Yeah.
And wait, are we going? Did we skip a section?
No, I gave you this summary, and that's where we are.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to go through. Oh, wow, that was quite a succinct summary.
Yes, and you just got off topic. You just got off track, starting.
I didn't go to Walmart.
Yeah.
For people who don't understand that reference, it's what we call Walmart.
Yeah, off topic.
I got it from Hot Topical. That's a reference to Supernatural.
Hmm. Okay, so actors we know.
There it is.
Okay, so of course we know Nicolas Cage. We already said that.
There's a map on this back of this document. I know it.
Yeah, I'm starting to see that he sounds the same in every movie. Somebody said that. Was it you or other people?
It was me. I definitely asked you whether it was him.
But, yeah, I can see that. I mean, I don't really mind, but that's because I haven't seen tons of movies with him in them.
I don't think you're going to judge.
The other actor that I knew and Miles knew played the character Alan, and his name is Saul Rubinek, and he played a character on an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. He played somebody named Kivas Fajo, who stole data from, because he collected rare things. So yeah, stole data from the Enterprise. I'm looking up something into my next, like on my comments. That's why I sound distracted. I just don't understand why sometimes Wikipedia. I just want. Oh, there we go. That's helpful. All right. Did you know any other of the actors?
Not off the top of my head. I want to say that female lead actors looked really well.
Familiar?
Yeah.
I know. I thought she looked familiar too, but I don't think she's been in. Her name was Leoni.
Wasn't I can't remember. I mentioned this the other day, and you said that you thought they were in there. I'll come back to it. I gotta remember who it was.
Okay.
But I definitely knew people on there. Like, not personally, obviously.
Do you know Don Cheadle?
There it is. Yeah.
He played the...
New Captain America.
Oh, that's who that was?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. So we did know another person. Don Cheadle. He played the person who was transporting Jack to his other life. Or who transported him to his other life.
Okay.
Like an angel or something.
Yeah.
Whatever he was.
I think Guardian Angel's correct.
I didn't say guardian angel. I just said...
I say Guardian Angel. At least he could have abandoned him there.
Yeah.
That would have been rude.
But he did seem like he had an agenda and that he was like trying to find other people to teach lessons to.
Yeah. Well, pretty heck of a way to, get a lesson. You stop a robbery in progress and then, oh, look what happens. You are traveled back in time.
Not back in time. Just...
Oh, alternate reality.
Yeah.
Alternate reality. That's great.
Moving on to our comment section. Segments. After a brief break.
To deal with one of the babies. That's funny.
Yes. So my first comment was Danny Elfman did the music.
Yeah, I remember standing in the kitchen whenever you said that, and I was like, yeah, Danny Elfman.
Yeah, because I know him from doing the music from for Alice in Wonderland, the Johnny Depp version, but he's also done music for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies.
Oh, I forgot about that, yeah.
Men in Black, all three of them, it looks like lots of different things. Oz the Great and Powerful, but like I'm more accustomed to him. I'm more what was I gonna say? I know him from more whimsical movies than this one, so I was just surprised.
Yeah, well, with how often Nick Cage makes movies, he I don't know, does Nick Cage make as many movies as he used to? But with how often he did, he's bound to run into Danny Elfman.
So also I said I like the holiday vibes. I'm thinking about adding this to our
Holiday
yearly
routine.
lineup of Christmas/holiday movies. Yes.
Yeah.
I also like this. I really liked the scene where Annie, Jack's daughter in the alternate life, says, or she figures out that he's not like her real dad.
It's like a realization.
Yeah, because kids pick up on things a lot quicker than adults.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but kids have, right, and which I guess if you're and it's not just like a supernatural, unscientific thing, because they can tell from CAT scans that the children emit gamma waves,
Yeah.
and so it's just so cool. His kids have literally a sixth sense.
But yeah, and I loved that scene because she's like, "You're not my real dad." She thinks he's an alien, and she gets him to, say he's not going to steal her and her brother and do experiments on them or whatever. And so then she starts explaining everything to him like he's an alien, which is kind of helpful.
Very helpful.
But it was just so heartwarming.
And it was nice that she was helpful.
Yeah, and it made me like cry a little.
Oh, why?
Because it's heartwarming. Like, I don't know, because I'm emotional.
What, normally?
Yeah. Normally I'm an emotional person.
Yes, you are.
So why did you even have to ask that?
Confirmation bias, I guess.
So also, I was thinking when I saw the end of this that it was kind of sad because, like, spoiler alert, he convinces, what's her name? Kate, to have coffee with him. But it's like, after 13 years, it's like
everything during the movie was just, it's gone.
Well, and it was like, oh, well, maybe they'll get together, but they won't have the same kids or the same life. But I read something on Reddit, somebody's theory that after this, when he goes to sleep, he'll wake up in the alternate life, because the first time that he gets sent there, it snows, and the next time he gets sent back to his previous life, it snows.
Oh,
and it was snowing at the end.
That is a fantastic, because it was snowing at the end.
Yeah, and so this person thinks that he'll be transported to that other life, when he goes to sleep.
Or maybe a new life where the best of both worlds.
Yeah, maybe.
But, that's so cool.
But I don't know. I just chose to think after I read that, because I was like, that kind of seems depressing, because maybe they'll be together, but he won't have that life that he finally realized that he liked, or that, was valuable or what.
Well, and it's just like, ending movies that come up where, you don't know which way. It's like the end of Inception, or the, was it The Time Traveler's Wife?
I've only seen that one.
We gotta watch it. What year was that?
Look, I didn't really like it, but maybe I would the second time around. I don't know. I thought it was sad and kind of boring. I didn't see why you liked it.
It can't be any more boring than this one.
This is not boring.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, whatever. It's 2009, so.
Oh, we'll get there in 16 years.
I was going to say 18, but.
Well, at least we're, tracking on the right time.
Maybe we'll be pickier as we move forward. And so, like, 2001 will go by faster, and we'll get into, like, a better groove.
When was the original Spider-Man?
You mean Tobey? 2002.
Yeah, that's going up. Oh, heck yeah. The real Spider-Man. But I digress. What? Superman. That's who Nick Cage was going to be at one point. I can't picture Superman Nick Cage, although he was Superman in The Flash.
I know.
Which was hilarious.
Yeah, in an alternate reality.
I know. Just think, Nick Cage does all these movies, and that's one he doesn't do. And then so, in 2020, whatever, when the Flash is filming, they call what's his? Hey Nick Cage, you want to be Superman? Do I? Is there a treasure?
And he named one of his kids Kal-El.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. Well, I knew that. I didn't
But
know that.
I'm thinking, like, did he like Superman before he was supposed to play him?
I'd
or was it vice
yeah,
versa?
I'd imagine it's the former. So, what other? It was so interesting to see the personality shifts from like the people that he worked with before he woke up in this alternate reality, and going back there, like that Alan guy. He comes up, I don't know who you are, but it's like, you're not pulling anything on me. And it was so funny because Nick Cage's character was like, Alan. Like, he was so happy that he had a backbone. And then whenever he got back, Alan was like, what are we gonna do? And he's like, in a different universe, you've got a backbone. I was like, that's kind of rude, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What other things we got about this?
Those were my only comments.
So what would you do if you woke up in a alternate reality?
Me?
Yeah.
I would. It's funny. I had the Time Traveler's Wife pulled up to see if it was on a streaming service, and I saw the dad from The Flash, the movie,
Oh.
and he's in that. He's in that movie. He's in the time travel. He's the friend or something.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm like, oh, we were just talking about The Flash, and his dad's in this movie. Okay. Anyway, if I woke up in an alternate reality, I would freak out.
Well, I know. Well, probably end up in a mental institution. No, I'm kidding. You'd find someone.
Well, since they don't really have those anymore, and you have to check yourself in voluntarily to a lot of these places.
Yeah.
I don't think I would.
No.
But I don't know. Like, I wouldn't know how to. I would not be cool.
Well, you wouldn't be cool with it, you mean?
I mean, like, I wouldn't act cool. Like, some people, like you, might be able to, like, slide their way through and pretend like you know what's going on and play it cool. I wouldn't. I would be freaking out, or I would be trying to convince everybody that, this isn't real.
I think you'd find one person and you'd be able to convince them and they'd help you. I think that's where you would be good at. I think, if that happened to me, I would the most effective thing that I could do is figure out, okay, who's my inner circle? Okay. And then immediately confide in someone in that inner circle and get them to help me, sort things out.
Yeah.
Because that would be crazy. I mean, it's kind of like, what was that movie we just watched where, What Women Want? Where he could, hear women, like if that happened to me. And then what was the other movie whenever, that we watched? Oh my goodness, where he, made wishes. No, we're good.
It's not moving, though.
It doesn't need to.
But usually the time
I know. We'll figure it out.
moves. So I don't want to be like
We won't be. We'll be good.
high and dry.
Yeah. What was that? High and dry. You're funny. What was that movie that we watched recently whenever the guy Oh no, I watched that movie. Oh, that's right. You didn't watch it with me. It was a Amazon Prime movie where this guy, um, I cannot think, but it has Simon Pegg in it. Um, Type in Simon Pegg sci-fi, um, Wish. But anyways, the premise of that movie is the aliens are going to destroy Earth unless they find a good human being, and Simon Pegg gets granted the power to make anything happen.
Absolutely anything.
Absolutely anything. All right, and he confides in his friend, that kind of helps him, but really doesn't. But all that to say is, like if something crazy like that happened to me, I would want to find someone to confide in. But is one thing that I would realize is that I wouldn't want to be a disruptor. Like, like if we weren't, like, let's say you were married to someone else, like it would take everything in me not to want to be around you and but unless you weren't happy, then I'd start dropping. Excuse me, can I talk to you for a minute? Yeah, the back of your head is ridiculous. But yeah, yeah.
I just saw that Nicolas Cage was in 2 movies in 2000, so that's something we should have been tracking like the whole time, because so many of the actors from these movies have had 2 movies, and we might not have seen like the other one.
Well, I think Nick Cage is on a different level. He has had like multiple movies. Like he's had a movie every year since I think the mid '80s.
Well, he only had 2, and well, it looks like 2 every year.
Yeah. Two every
year, almost. But a lot of these actors, the lead actors from all of these movies, had like 2 movies in 2000.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's just a pattern. Generally, like maybe actors usually work on a movie for 6 months and they work on another one.
I think back then, my immediate thought goes to that actors were, like of their time. It's like you have all these Tom Hanks movies. It's okay. You have all these Mel Gibson movies. You have all these like singular actor movies, and I think it speaks more to the fact that actors were showboated around on dragged onto different sets because their name could sell a movie. Versus now is you'll see good actresses or actors, but they're not in like more than one thing a year, if 2 years.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So I'm just, maybe that's something I should go back and look at. I don't know. And put in our recap for 2000 episode.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be fun. Well, what do you grade this?
Well, I just want everyone to remember real quick that I said that this movie reminded me of an episode of Smallville. Another movie that we passed on that we may talk about in our recap of the year, because we probably will tell you the
things that we didn't watch. Yeah.
And another movie that came out the same day as this one reminds me of another episode or episodes of Smallville involving Lex.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't. What movie?
Castaway.
Duh.
But I mean, like, because when he was stuck on the island.
Yeah.
For a couple episodes.
Somehow survived a plane wreck.
Yeah.
Sure thing. Okay, buddy. Like, at least Tom Hanks, character in Castaway, it makes sense. You see the crash. You see that they're leveling out. You see that they're slowing down. But, anyways. But what do you grade it? With and without the Smallville angle?
No, just one grade.
Okay, with the Smallville angle. If you can't see, I just winked at her.
89%.
Oh, this is tough for me because I like it, but I don't know. Well, okay, all right. If I'm going to base it solely off of the plot line and the heartfelt, then I'll match you at 89.
Mm-hmm. But
if I was to rate it like on whether or not, hi baby, if I was to rate it on the concept of if I'm going to watch it again, it gets a 72.
But you are going to watch it again because I want to put it in your lineup.
I know.
No, but no, I'm just giving you a hard time.
No. Okay, to be fair, I did not like watching Holiday time and time again, but now I do.
You didn't, so why did you not say that? Could have watched it by myself.
I don't care because now I like watching it. If I watch it enough, I'll like it. I'm not worried about it. I like the film as a whole. All right, and that's why I'm at you at 89. Okay, is the 72 ranking is like, okay, what percentage would I like? It would be a C movie that I rewatch time and time again, but 89 overall. So
I kind of, yeah, I just base things off of how I felt and like how many notes I take.
You base things off of how you feel? Yeah. No.
Well, because sometimes if I really don't like the movie, I don't write anything. And if I really, if I like the movie, I'm so immersed in it that I don't write anything. So.
And then you do a bunch of research on it.
Now I can't write notes. I can't take a lot of notes because we have a, little passenger, I don't know what to call her.
A love bug.
Okay, well, yeah. We have an extra person who might need attention or might need to be held.
She definitely needs some attention.
So I, can't write as many notes at the time that we're watching.
She's a pretty cool cat. Yeah. Well, with that, we will be back here in 2 weeks to watch our next movie, which is... What do you want to say?
Well, our next movie is going to be Miss Congeniality, and it's going to be our last movie from 2000.
Dun, dun, dun.
I was looking here real quick at Nicolas Cage's
filmography.
Yeah, credits, whatever, on IMDb. And so far, he's been in at least one thing, sometimes 2 or 3. I'm almost to present day. Hold on. Okay. At least one, because some years there was just one, but some years there was 3, or there was 3. There were 3 or more credits, so I don't know like the exact breakdown, but he's been in something every year since 1981.
Oh, I thought it was 86, but yeah, 81, that sounds right. Absolutely nuts. Which it's too bad we won't be watching Con Air.
There's nothing in 1985. So
yeah, 1985. Okay, since 86. That's why I thought that. Yeah. So since 86, it's been consecutive. But yeah, such a weird thing. He owns an island.
That doesn't surprise me.
And he's massively in debt or something.
I don't know.
Anyways, well, with that, I think we are good to go. Until next time, let's see if Jim has anything to say before we go. Do you have something to say, baby? Yeah? If you have something to say, here's the mic, okay? Okay. Okay, if that works. Just saying goodbye. All right. Well, they say goodbye too. Anyways, thanks for watching.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to You Ought to Watch This Movie, a podcast about movies from the first decade of the 2000s, aka the aughts. Be sure to subscribe for new episodes covering movies you ought to watch. We'll see you next time.